The move that we all thought was going to happen happened with Valeri Nichushkin being traded. It's just the return that has a lot of people scratching their heads right now. But we're going to talk about it on another episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. On today's episode, we will get to Brock Nelson and his season grade. Oddly enough, because we do this alphabetically, I think Val is next.
Yes, he is.
So it would have been just insanely poetic if we were a day ahead. And we're doing Valeri Nichushkin's grade today, but that will have to wait. We got Brock Nelson a little bit later. But yeah, it's pretty much going to circle around this big trade for the Avalanche. Like I said in the beginning, like one that I think everybody thought was going to happen, kind of just one of those like fresh start moves for Val and the Avalanche. And it happens. So here's the trade. If you're over on YouTube, there's what they get. So Valeri Nichushkin goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and in return, they get a 2026 second-round pick. So for this year, next year, a third-round pick, and in 2028, a fifth-round pick. So 3 picks, one in each of the next 3 drafts, second, third, and fifth. Which, like I said, like has some people think like it's a little bit. Sure. I guess for a team that does not have a lot of draft capital, getting 3 picks is nice. We were joking not that long ago of all of the other moves that are being made and all of the draft picks that are getting thrown around. You jokingly said, let's go after the number 1 overall pick. And even though that was a tongue-in-cheek type of thing, I got the joke. It's like everything is – there's so many – you had the number 4 overall pick going for Byram. Yeah. This just seems a little underwhelming based on everything else that's happening around the league. Does it not?
Completely does. I mean, and I said it then, if Byram can get the number 4 overall, you have to be able to get a first round pick for Valeri Nichushkin. I feel like you had to. And they do not get a first round pick for Valeri Nichushkin. 3 picks is nice to get. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that is at least good. And you clear out his $6.125 million AAV. And I think he has 4 more years. 4 more years. Yeah. 4 more years on the contract. So
that's what I don't get, man. Like you're giving them a lot of term. Because like you are make it make sense. Like you said, the 4th round pick. Yes, that's on that. That was a deal that was made. And we go back to the Brady Tkachuk deal. 3 first round picks for Brady Tkachuk. And Brady Tkachuk's a good player. 3 first round picks for him. So it's less of like if this happened like a month ago before all these trades were going on, be like, okay, that's all right. But I just feel like with all the other moves that have gone down in a short amount this week, just this week, he's a top 6 player. He's in your top 6. A top 6 player is not worth a first round pick anymore.
Well, when you look at the continuing on the AAV that he's got, the term and the 6.125, he is not paid. He is underpaid based on being a top 6 player, and that's where you're assuming that he's going to be. So not only are you giving them 4 years, but you're giving them 4 years at a pretty good price. Now, Val has plenty of shortcomings that we've talked about and potential issues. So like there's maybe some thought behind that, but I don't think that's enough to drop that value down out of a first round. So
I don't think so.
It doesn't make a ton of sense to me overall.
I mean, those things happened a few years ago now, and in the world of sports, they might as well be ancient.
Well, and injuries too. Like he does have those, and we've brought that up.
That's legit. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like there are, like I said, there's legitimate concerns, I think, for a franchise to have. But legitimate concerns, I don't think, drops you down to no first rounds, when Brady Tkachuk gets 3 and Bo Byram gets the number 4 overall pick. That does not make sense to me.
I am with you on that. I would have banked on it that you can at least get at least a single number 1 pick or first round pick for this guy. I sit here all the time, and I did it with the Brady Tkachuk deal, in saying, well, you have to wait on these things and see what the grand scheme is and what happens next. And Ottawa showed you that a little bit. They went and made that trade with the Sharks and for Eklund, and okay, like that's the start of it. This has to be there's something else coming, and I'm not saying it's going to be a trade, but you are not trading Valeri Nichushkin and what he's meant to this team to go fill his role with a second round pick. So you've freed up the cap space. It could come in a trade. I have no idea, but you have the cap space to go get somebody in free agency, even though the free agency is market is a little bit weak this year. You have that ability. So it's you don't like the return, but the overall deal is not done yet. So we have to wait and see what comes next, what fills out.
There's one other piece of this for me as well. And let me just double check, because he is over 30, right? How old is Val now?
I don't think he's quite 30 yet. I think he's like 29, maybe.
Is he? Okay.
He's pretty.
For some reason, I thought he was over 30. But either way,
either way.
The only other thing I can potentially think of for agreeing to this deal is you're making the bet the 1 year early versus 1 year late of a guy's before they start to decline, right? Do you try to trade them 1 year
31
before?
Wow, 31 years old.
Okay, so yeah, I thought he was close to that. But either way, maybe Sakic's thinking in that sense as well. Let's trade him now. I expect the decline to start this season. So it will be interesting, because if he goes out in Columbus and just tears it up for 4 straight years, I don't think it totally matters what you end up doing with this second round pick or anything. It's not going to look great if he goes and tears it up for them. But if he also does start the drop, then Joe Sakic looks like an absolute genius. And so I do wonder sometimes if that comes into play, especially with guys around that age, of what can I get for you today? And do you hurt that value because you're going to start to drop off?
I think it could be both, really. I think it could be that, looking forward and looking back and feeling like I said earlier, I think just both parties just maybe need a fresh start here. He's been with you for a while
too. Yep.
He's been with you for a while. And it was funny. I was at an appointment with my daughter and my wife sends me a text. She's like, they traded Val? Question mark. And I was like, yeah. So when I got home, I'm like, are you upset by that? She goes, well, no. She goes, I just thought they have a pretty good team. Why, why are they kind of making all these moves? And especially with him. And my response was, yeah, they have a good team. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
Was my response to her. And that's true. He would have had a good season if he hung around this year.
Potentially. I think
I think Sakic is of the mind of we're good, but we're not good enough. And I think we can move him out. And that's why you have to wait and see. We'll get to what we think the plan could be. I just this team, for whatever reason, I went back and looked. Since the Matt Duchene trade, which was 2017.
Yes.
Do you know how many times they've acquired a first round pick through a trade?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 0.
One.
Okay.
One. It was the Alex Newhook deal. They did get a first for to Montreal. They got a first round pick for him. That's the only time since 2017. I went back further than that, and I get it. First round picks, typically aren't passed around like candy. They seem to be this year for whatever reason. Right. And if you're an Avalanche fan, you know that they have been getting passed around as of late. So they have given out first round picks left and right over the past handful of years. And I get why. It's kind of what a team in their position does.
Yeah.
You've had opportunities, even though you're in this mode of win now, and that's when first round picks go out the door. You still have had a few opportunities to inherit a first round pick, and you have not done that. This one, I think, sticks out. The Mikko Rantanen one absolutely sticks out, even though you got a really good return with Nichushkin and Jack Drury. Still not getting a first round pick for Mikko Rantanen. I still do not understand that.
No.
Well, I kind of do, because there was no contract in place. If there, if an extension was signed, you probably get one. You probably get one. But still, the point holds true. You didn't get a first round pick in return for Mikko Rantanen. For whatever reason, this team cannot inherit first round picks via trade. Like I said, I went back further than 2017, but I just went back to the Duchesne trade. They don't do it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is.
Part of me does, like, obviously a joke, but it almost feels like after the Duchesne trade and everything that Sakic got in return for Matt Duchesne, which just flipped the franchise on its head, and he looked like the absolute mastermind genius. Do all GMs just approach him with extra guard up, just like brick wall? I will go in on the ultra defense here.
I mean,
probably
I think
some,
so,
but I don't think it causes you to never get a first.
Right. Yeah, I think people will go in being like, I'm confident in my abilities as a GM, and I'm going to get a fair trade here, and let me go up against the mighty Joe Sakic and see what I can inherit in a trade. I'm sure there's some challenge there for a GM, but I don't get it though. Like I don't like this, man. I don't like it. And I don't like it today. I could like it in a week from now when free agency opens and okay, well, this is what we've done to replace Val. Then I might like it. It is a wait and see approach. But today, I think I'm fair to not like this return. I could have liked the return if you got a first round pick and be like, okay, well, it still holds true. That first round pick is not going to replace Valeri Nichushkin. You still need to go find his replacement. But I would be happier having a first round pick right now. Especially or even 2 seconds, maybe. I don't know.
A first round pick you could maybe flip for Val's replacement. So
you could. Yeah. I think you have a little bit more bargaining power there. Sure.
Exactly. So we can get into all that. The last thing I want to say is that was terrible English.
What
in the world was that?
Do say, Mr. Zach Pearson.
Parker Kelly did outscore Val Nichushkin this year in goals. So, I mean, just throwing that out there.
I didn't really kind of consider what you were saying about like is the decline coming? Every player is different. You never know when that comes. I really wasn't considering that. I don't know if I would say the Avs were looking more towards we need some new blood here than the decline, but I'm sure maybe that was on the mind too. And it's capacity,
very possible. And because you do want to look like the genius who trades the guy right before the decline, and not like the guy who held on to the player for a year too long.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
and the injury part.
There is that.
The injury part is a big deal. So, I guess not shocking that he went out the door. Maybe a little bit shocking in the return. Maybe shocking is too strong of a word. Maybe a little bit surprised of the return.
It is. It does anger, like gut visceral reaction is frustration that you can't get a higher draft pick. But hey, let's see what Joe does next.
Right. 100%. But I think I would say the anger is more because of what I'm seeing other teams pull.
Everybody else.
Normally you're like, okay, this is a decent deal. Again, I still think he's worth a first, even without all these moves going on.
Yeah.
Because like he's a top 6 guy.
Yep.
A top 6 player is worth a first round pick every single year. So to not get one, and with the term that they're sending over there, and again, I can like what the end result of all of this is. and still go back and be like, we could have done better.
Yeah.
We could have done better, and we could have gotten a first round and done something much better with that if we wanted to. So sure. I think the end result, I still have faith in what the end result will be in replacing Val on the ice, but I think I will always dislike the return for it.
Yeah. I think that's more than fair.
All right. So what is that plan? What are we doing here? We have some cap space, but where do the Avs go from here? Let's talk about that. We'll get our first break in, and we'll do that next. All right, let's hear from 5 Hour Energy, because if you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all of the sugar. And that's why the Fruity Rainbow 5 Hour Energy Shot brings the nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. With Fruity Rainbow 5 Hour Energy Shot, it treats your taste buds to an explosion of fruity flavor with a tasty caffeine kick. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy the sweet cravings while keeping things simple and on the go. And it has 0 sugar. That is key for the sweet tooth approved crowd like myself. So get candy flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5 Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com, or you can go grab them on Amazon. Also brought to you by Game Time, the Game Time app. There are more live events than ever worth seeing right now. Games, concerts, comedy shows, and festivals. The hard part usually isn't deciding what you want to attend. It's actually getting the tickets. And between long wait times, confusing checkout processes, and surprise fees, buying tickets can sometimes feel harder than it should. That's why so many fans are turning to Game Time. It's the app that's built to make buying tickets simple, with upfront pricing, seat views before you buy, and exclusive saving opportunities that help you get to the events you want without the hassle. Some of the best things about the Game Time app, like we said, all-in pricing. The price you see is what you pay. The seat views, as you're scrolling, you can see exactly where you will be sitting. You don't have to go into another menu or anything like that. And the savings, you can pick a zone, and they will alert you when a good zone deal comes up as well. So a lot to like with the Game Time app, where you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets of every type of event with Game Time. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. So create an account and redeem the code Locked On, LOCKEDON, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. All right. So, yeah, we're kind of trying to figure out what the plan is for the Avalanche. And sometimes this is like the most difficult thing to do, because everyone like tries to guess and say like, oh, this player is available. You are here. If you're following some of these insiders on socials, or, listening to podcasts that they're on, it's like the Wild West. They're just shooting as many bullets up in the air and seeing which one hits something, because it's just like, it seems like every single player on every single team is available right now. And the Avs have kind of thrown their hat into the rink for that somewhat. With the Val money going out the door, you now have just shy of $11 million in cap space.
Yep.
So yeah, you can, and for what Val was making, was 6.125.
Yep. 6.125.
You're going to want to, that's kind of like your area of where you want to be.
Yeah.
You might have to go a little bit higher because the cap is going up. So that's kind of, you can use that number as that's where the Avalanche are going to kind of look here for someone. I want to say, go and dip into the free agency market. That is very much on the table. But so are trades. And I think that's the main thing here is the Avs have not hamstrung themselves in what they can do. They now have options available to them if they need to.
Jason Robertson, $6 million a year, come to the Avalanche. Done. Fixed it.
Yeah.
I honestly, trying to figure out who they're going to actually go target is extremely difficult. The biggest things I do think this does for you is I would like to bring Brett Kulak back for another year. And this does make that a lot easier, because he did a great job defensively, and he has a lot of playoff experience to help you out. In a win now mode that the Avalanche have to be in, I can't feel like that guy is not a good option to potentially re-sign as a UFA. You are still looking for probably another wing. Your top two lines. So just looking on Puckpedia, they have their predicted lineup as Lecky, Mack, and Natchez for the top line. Okay, makes sense. Kadri, Nelson, Landy for your second line. Okay, also makes sense. I think that's a very solid top six. I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. Then you have Kelly, Waugh, and Brindley, and then LaRue, Svechkov, and O'Connor. So you need to get some more depth in there for sure. It does sting losing a second line guy, but you can maybe sign Kulak back, get yourself another third line winger, somebody else that can play around that spot.
Sure.
And maybe not be in a terrible position depending on what you have to pay. So I don't think you have to go back out and give top six money, which is also good because you need a third pairing defenseman as well. Because you also have Jack Ashawn and Brent Burns UFAs. And I don't do you think they go down the Kiviranta well again this year?
I could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I don't know. Like Bednar loves the guy.
Yeah.
You kind of have some openings now in your depth anyway. Just of what you brought in from the Predators, of just you hope those guys pan out.
Yep.
Kiviranta is more of a sure thing right now than they are. So maybe you do, but he might be feeling like I want to go somewhere else. I don't know. You don't know what his mindset is either. If he's comfortable here, then you keep him around. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point about. So what was that second line again? You have that in front of you?
The second line they have as Kadri, Nelson, Landeskog.
And then so the first line's Lecky, Natchez,
Lecky, McKinnon, and Natchez.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good second line.
It is. It really is.
So you could do that and just, yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, you got to replace him on the second line. No, Kadri's more than capable of doing that.
He really is.
And then putting that money into a third line guy, and you've saved even more money here. So, because I don't think what the Avs want to do is, and they don't have to do this because they do have that luxury of having Kadri that they can move up, of going out and getting a guy to replace Val specifically for the second line of I don't want to say an unknown, like a great unknown, but a maybe.
Yeah.
Like a guy maybe that hasn't really pulled his weight yet, but he just needs a change of scenery. Maybe he can do that here. The Avs aren't in the business to do that. Like they're not in that world of, hey, come over here and maybe, with our coaching staff and our roster and our style of play, maybe things improve for you.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think they're in that world right now. So I think they have to go get a solid guy that they know. And sure, if you want to move Kadri up, fine. But that doesn't mean I think they go searching solely for a third line guy. I think they want a guy that can move up if they need to, because injuries happen to this team, and they're going to need that guy to move up and down if they need him to. So
we talked about him with the addition of Zach LaRue. With that kind of edge and grit that you're potentially bringing with him, obviously there's the concern that comes with his particular temper, we'll say. I wouldn't hate them building a little more like that too, trying to find a middle six guy that's a little bit bigger and maybe bring some of that grit and sandpaper to it. So I don't know who's available or who you could go trade for, but maybe you could find someone.
I'm just looking at the free agents right now, and I'm just organizing by forward. Oddly enough, Boone Jenner is, for talking about Columbus. I've liked Boone Jenner for a while, and he always seemed to be on their trading block, but never fully on their trading block. And it was they dangle him out there, but it never really happened. He's a hard on his, hard on your sleeve type of guy, as I like to say. And maybe you're going a guy that you might look at and going in the direction that the Avalanche maybe are going, getting a little bit more grittier.
Yeah.
He could be one. Bobby McCann. I don't think I've heard that Seattle really wants to try to resign him.
I think Seattle's keeping Bobby McCann.
Yeah.
I think I saw that as well, that he's pretty well set. Something like somebody put something out that was like, oh, the fans really convinced McCann to stay around. And so that's something I saw in like an interview. So
all right.
I don't know about him.
That's the thing, man. Like the free agent market this year is rough.
Yeah,
it's rough. You have options, obviously, but I would think the Avs have their mindset on a couple of targets, and if that doesn't work out, you're just banking on some sort of trade. But again, like with the trade, what are you going to have to do to go to acquire a guy? You got to give up players or picks, which you have a few of them now.
Yeah.
Is it enough to bring in a guy? I mean, it might not be enough to bring in someone that's a second line guy.
Yeah.
Could be more of a depth guy. So I think that, free agency might be where it's at. It's tough. It's just tough to say like exactly who they're targeting.
And that's like, like I just don't know. Like I said, I don't know who's out there that they really want to go after. And we've both heard Boone Jenner for the last couple of years. Like that name's been thrown around. I wouldn't hate that one. But I don't know. There's not really any other guys that I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh man, this guy's a UFA. We gotta go try to get this guy right now. There's nobody really moving the needle for me that hard.
Yeah. So let's see. You got Anthony Mantha. He's I wouldn't mind that. Michael Bunting. Mason Marchment. No, thank you. But again, that is like, if the Avs are really going all in on this, we're going to be grittier and sandpaper type of guys. Like, wow. I mean, you would really be turning a corner if you went after someone like Mason Marchment.
Yeah.
Zuccarello, he's undersized. I don't think they want to go that route, and he's older. Jack Roslovic had a really good season. Like, nobody wanted to sign him last year in free agency, which I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Like, he had a really good year in Carolina, and he was just hanging around there. Goes and signs with Edmonton, has a good season. Has a pretty good season. So maybe he could be a guy. Potentially, that's someone that you could kind of stick in the middle six role. Scott Lawton, I like Scott Lawton. I thought they may go after him at the trade deadline last year, but that was not to be. He's a good scorer. I like him. And then you just get down the list. You just keep going down. I don't know who's Teddy Bluger. I like Teddy Bluger. He's a good scorer, but that is definitely a bottom six guy. I don't. If you're going to move him up, that's a risk.
Yeah,
it's you hear us just throwing out names of like, oh, the pickings are thin. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah,
this is a wait and see type of.
I
move.
really think a trade is probably more what Joe's trying to go for.
Could be, it could be, but again, I don't know what you have to offer.
A second round pick this year, a third round pick next year, and a fifth round pick in 28.
Then you have like 12 hours to get this deal done, or no, because that second pick's not till Saturday. So you have 24 hours.
You got a full day.
Yeah. Oh, that's forever.
In the bag. Yep.
My God, things are getting interesting. So this Avalanche team already looks a lot different than it did. What, a week and a half ago?
Yep.
A lot different. So. One guy that they'll have for a couple more years, unless he gets traded too, which a lot of people seem to want it happening, is Brock Nelson. So let's get our last break in, and we will get his season grade after this. All right, we got Hims. There it is. All right. ED is way more common than most guys think, and millions of men deal with it at some point. And Hims offers a simple, convenient way to take care of your health by connecting you with licensed healthcare providers online and giving you access to personalized treatment options from the comfort of your home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process designed to make getting care easier. Taking care of yourself shouldn't feel complicated, and Hims makes the process private and easy to navigate. It's healthcare built around your schedule and your comfort. Because when something is already uncomfortable to talk about, the last thing that you want is a complicated process. And having the ability to start online from home makes taking that first step feel much more manageable. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, and weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/lockedonnhl. That's hims.com/lockedonnhl for your free online visit. hims.com/lockedonnhl. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is the generic version of Viagra, and Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. And Hims is not affiliated with or endorsed by Viatris. So go check out Hims today. All right, Brock Nelson and his season grade kind of went the way I thought with this in terms of what the letter would be and the comments that came along with it. It was pretty much like good regular season, ghost in the postseason. And I said yesterday when we did Martin Necas's grade, I didn't ding him for the playoff he had specifically against Vegas, because if you ding one guy against just the Vegas series, you have to do it for all of them, in my opinion. Yeah. But when a guy has a rough go of it for the entirety of a playoff, then that's where it affects the grade somewhat. And it did for me with Brock Nelson. So you gave him a B+. I probably would have been there for him had he had a better playoff. But I went down to a B- for him. So I thought he had a really good regular season. And then just, we got to get off of Martin Necas's back for a playoff. And I think it's fair to get on Brock Nelson's for how he played. I'm sure he's not happy about it, but
two goals and 1 assist. And that assist is only a secondary assist. And that's all that you could put together in 13 games played in the postseason is pretty rough. And I do agree. Like, if we're going regular season only, this is an A teetering on an A+, even with the bad stretch he had post-Olympic break. Because after they came back from the Olympics, he was on a cold streak, which happens. Like, That's fine, understandable. But he outdid everybody's expectations, I thought, for the beginning of the year, all the way up through the Olympics. Obviously, I'm not counting his Olympic performance in on this grade, but He had a great Olympics as well. He did awesome. Comes back from that, struggles through the rest of the regular season, doesn't do as much production. That's why it goes all the way down from that A teetering A+ to the B+ for me, is that just was not good enough in the postseason whatsoever. You have to be able to do better than that. It's such a strange, he can do that. And how many times did we get on after an episode and be like, well, Brock Nelson shot it directly into the goaltender's logo again 4 times. Like, you got to get something.
81 games played, 33 goals, 32 assists, 65 points, plus 15. That's obviously regular season. So he had a really good regular season, 9 game-winning goals. His shooting percentage, and we're talking about that for the playoffs. His shooting percentage for the regular season was 17.7.
Yep.
In the playoffs, 8.3. That is a nosedive. He just, players get snake bit for chunks of time throughout the regular season, and the good ones are able to pull themselves out of it quicker. Brock Nelson can score. Brock Nelson has a good shot. He knows how to score. He gets into areas where he gives himself a good position to score, or is very good at setting up his teammates to do that. He's a great passer too. He's very, the hockey IQ for Brock Nelson is fantastic. So that's why it's a little bit perplexing as to why he went that entire playoff and couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
That's messes with your mind on why it went that route for him, because he's a very cerebral player. And if he's one of those guys, kind of like Martin H did, like I can't find the net, but I can help my teammates find the net. And he did that throughout the playoffs. Nelson couldn't do either. Couldn't do either. So because of that, I had to drop him down to a B-. And it's not, and this is one of those things where it's like, oh, the last impression people have is his play in the playoffs. And that is what people are hammering home online. This was prior to Val just getting traded, of keep Val, get rid of Brock. I wasn't there, mainly for what we were saying. One of the reasons maybe you trade Val is just change of scenery. Brock is still new. Brock's still new. I think he had a really good season. I think he can play off of that, and I think he can be better. I give guys chances, maybe too many. There's other people who are like, oh, he's had 2 playoffs for us, out of here. Well, and I'm not trying to, well, maybe I am, but the first one was his trade year. He was only with the team for a month, and then you have the playoffs. So I don't fully throw that one away, but I put maybe a little bit of an asterisk next to it. And this one, his first full year. Okay, this one is legit. This one is the one that you can go after, but I still don't get rid of him. I see what he does. Again, if you do it 2 years in a row, 2.5 years in a row, maybe there is something to it. Maybe there is something to that trend, and you address it then. But doing it now is just way too gun shy, or trigger happy, I should say. And I wanted to move him out. Yeah,
I would fully agree with that. The one other thing for me that puts him up to that B+ versus a B or a B-, and we just talked about it with the whole Val trade, right? Where you need to go out and find somebody who can play potentially top 6 minutes, because this team gets injured. And I say it all the time, availability is a skill. 81 games for you this season. He played 80 games last season, 82 for the Islanders in 23, 82 for the Islanders in 22. And that's 4 straight years, 80+ games.
Yeah,
he's
pretty good.
He's a
durable
guy that's going to go out there, be durable, and play for you all the time.
Yep.
And as long as he can give you the production that we see he's capable of, I agree. Next season, I think, should be a good bounce back, and then just prove it to me in the playoffs. Help us get there, and then prove it to me once we're there.
Yeah, and there's his JFresh page. Did anybody have any blue on the power play this year? I don't know.
I don't think the Avalanche had blue on the power play.
I don't think so. So, that was the outlier for the Avs. But everything there is really good. That's a good player. That is a good player. And I think because he just, he's kind of just like this ho-hum type of guy. People don't think there's like a fire in him, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
Not true. So I like him. I think he has another good season, but it is valid. What are you doing in the playoffs? What are you doing?
You gotta just get that shot figured out in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Don't put it directly on the opposing goalie's logo. And if you do put it directly on the opposing goalie's logo, for the love of everything, Avs players, drive the net and have somebody there for rebounds this season. Please, I am begging you.
We'll see where they go with that. But it's a legit gripe somewhat right now. But I always give, like, these are professional hockey players. They don't like that when they perform poorly. They shouldn't, especially for a team that has, Stanley Cup aspirations. So let's see what he does. Give him the opportunity to correct it. But so many people just want him gone. And I'm not there. I give these guys that are professional athletes and going for that cup, the opportunity to correct what they did in a previous game or previous year. I'm awarding that to Brock Nelson because I think he's a type of that can turn it around.
100% he is.
Yep. So, okay. Anything else you got before we wrap this thing up? So crazy week.
No, I don't think so. Really, really interested to see what the Avs are going to do with that. Yep. Are they going to draft someone? Are we going to trade? What is happening? No idea.
Yep. We'll watch the draft. If anything crazy happens in the draft, we'll record over the weekend. If it's just your garden variety draft for the Avs, we'll be back on Monday to talk about it and how it all went down. But wild week. I need a nap. So Let's go do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna go watch that show you got me hooked on.
Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay. Oh my God, people! If you want something to do over the weekend and you have Apple TV subscription, go
Check it
watch
out.
that. So
It's quite enjoyable.
It's phenomenal. So I'm gonna go watch that right now with my wife, and then then I'm gonna go to bed because it's been a wild week. So we'll be back either over the weekend or back on Monday. But either way, thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen. Always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Micieli. It's the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys soon. You made it through another 24 hours. You are that much closer to next year's puck drop with a kind of new team.